Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast, Major League Baseball edition. Sean Higgs coming at you here with Chip Chirimbes, Doug Upstone, AL Central. Go White Sox, go. Yay. We'll be talking about the AL Central. Wins, odds to win it, maybe something else. If you think one of these teams could be a World Series or American League dark horse, maybe we'll take a prop on, Scooble Cy Young. We'll go really out on a limb there if anybody wants to go for that. But before we jump into this little episode here, like, share, subscribe, put your notification bell on here on Winner Circle YouTube channel. So when we do all of our previews, we'll be rolling out each division the next couple weeks here. So if you like baseball, put that notification bell on so when we load up and release them for you. If you like NBA and college hoops, we got you covered there too with 3-pick videos every single day, Monday through Friday, plus the live show on Friday as well. Give it a like, give it a share, give it a comment. Let us know what you think is going to win the AL Central. Maybe a win total on something. Maybe something else, a little nugget on a player. We're here for you. We want you here for us. Give us your thoughts. Premium stuff, we do sell picks, baseball included. Not as much spring training, but I'll tell you right now, I'll have the Cubbies in game 1 and 2, and they open up against the Dodgers at 6 a.m., I think Eastern time there, so you'll get 2 premium plays for free right now as we do a AL Central video. But premium plays, college hoops, NBA, all at gamblersworld.net. You come check us out there. But let's go, gentlemen. NL Central action here. We're going to jump right into it. We have odds to win the division. We're going to put them up here on the board. Twinkies, the favorite, plus 210. Is this correct? Why are they the favorite? Not the team I want to win. Tigers plus 250, Royals plus 280, Guardians at a 310. White Sox doesn't even make a difference. We won't even really talk about the White Sox. It's on. For most of our mothers probably say if you don't have something nice to say about somebody, you don't say anything at all. The White Sox rebuilding year. We'll just leave it at that. Let's concentrate on everybody else. And I'm going to go back to front here. The Guardians' win total was 82. This team was a playoff team last year. The pitching's always really well. But hey, what should we do? I got a deal. Let's trade our second best hitter. Poor Jose Ramirez? We got to be MVP if he had any kind of help and that team could advance a little bit to a World Series. They don't want to help the guy. I don't know why they don't like him. He's fabulous. I don't like them to win. I don't like the Twins to win here at 210. Are you kidding? The Twins were a 500 team last year. They've done nothing, and yet their win total stays the same. What's going on here? 83.5 for the Twins win. Why?
They're pitching.
Why? No, that's an under. I already bet this under. They did nothing. You rely on Buxton, Correa, and the other cat to stay healthy. They never do. Everybody's a year older. Buxton's like 33 now. People think the guy's like still 27. He's in his 30s. He's not staying healthy. No. Now, the 2 fun teams. I had both of these teams over last year. Both of them will make the playoffs last year. Flip a coin if you want to win a division, one of these 2. I like both of these teams. I bet both of these teams over their totals. I'm excited about these 2 teams. Doug, take it away here. What do you got to say here about these odds to win and these the win totals? I'll scroll the win totals underneath as we talk.
Yeah, I don't like the Twins either. I mean, they just like you said, they didn't really do anything. And see, this is an odd division because frankly, here's the problem. There's no money in this division. And what I mean by money, I'm talking about ownership. Okay. All of these teams are basically mid-level or lower in terms of cash. Cleveland gets rid of Naylor because, let's face it, they didn't want to pay him. He was not coming up. And the other thing that's odd about Cleveland is that their farm system, though, just churns them out. They're always got young guys coming up. So They don't feel obligated to pay. In fact, one thing that was interesting that I did not realize I read about this. They, for the first time since 2017, had over 2 million people go through the turnstile. Not turnstiles. Had the click thing now, or the
they scan
ding, 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 yeah, with your tickets. So that was the first time since 2017, and 2017 was the year after they went to the World Series. So that's the big thing there. So I don't know really why they don't want to win. It's like they want to be good, so they get attendance, but they really don't want to be an elite team. Okay, so they're kind of stuck there. Like you said, Minnesota is going nowhere here. I'm going to go see. Well, as it turns out, today we're doing this video on March the 3rd, and I'm going to go in about an hour and 40 minutes. I'll be watching Cleveland play. Okay, and so they're playing Seattle, but the thing with Cleveland, they still have a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and for them, I know it's tight. The numbers are tight, but for them to be fourth, okay, I mean, at worst, second. Okay, at worst in terms of the odds. I know they got rid of, but they have good young players. They have good pitching staff. Their bullpen last year, literally, you could make the case the best bullpen year ever of any team in the history of baseball, or even in the modern game where you have where the usage of bullpens is so great. Arguably the best one there's ever been. Now, playoffs, different story. Regular season, great. They're going to come back this year. I mean, but even to me, if if their bullpen isn't as good, they're still going to be top 5 in Major League Baseball. Yeah. So I think that's the deal. So for me, Cleveland to go over. Okay. And I forgot one quick thing. Stephen Vogt, the manager, the dude can flat out manage, completely different than the prior regime. But he's a modern type player where he trusts his players to do their job. And the trust goes back and forth, and the results prove itself.
The bullpen, Clace is fabulous. And again, you mentioned the 310 because the Tigers and Royals both kind of overachieved, I guess, as young teams. Could easily kind of take a step backwards. So 310 might be worth it there. Chipper, what do you think, Mr. Chip Chirimbes, here about this Central Division? Give us some White Sox history.
I think every team in this division is a go against.
Really?
I mean, you're forcing me to pick one of these teams. I mean, I don't understand how Cleveland could win 92 games last year and now they have them to be 500, and that's like Doug said, they have to have something coming along because they certainly got rid of a lot of salary, and the White Sox, I just got to mention, they did draw 1.38 million people last year and won 41 games. They do have Noah Schultz. He's 6'9". Reminds everyone of Randy Johnson, except that just doesn't pitch like him. And their top winner on the staff last year, that's starting on the roster this year, 5 wins is the most wins anybody had, and I think their leader last year had 7. So the White Sox are in really bad shape. Infinity, you left that down there, Infinity. So how do I get paid Infinity if they win? I want to know. But if you're looking to make a select, I mean, the Twins, I think with their pitching, they have 3 starters. Pablo Lopez, Bailey, Ober, is that his name? Bailey Ober, and
Joe Ryan too. They got some good pitchers.
Yeah, but Detroit, I think is one of those teams that they're looking after Sobel, what he did last year. But you can't win if you have Gleyber Torres on your team. I had said that last year, and you're not going to win with him there. And, they won 86 games last year, big surprise. And I think if I was to bet anything, I would bet the Pistons or the Tigers. Take your choice. I'd bet them under. And,
take the Pistons.
And they got Javier Baez. He hit 180 last year. So, I think Detroit to me is the team I would lean on because of the pitching, but I expect them to be under their total because of the way they overachieved last year. So this division, it's just what's clear cut here other than Chicago's really terrible.
So the Tigers last year, 86 wins, and they traded away their bullpen and pitching staff. And now they got
Kansas City, is going to be a lot of people's going to gravitate toward them because of Bobby Witt, and they had such a good year last year, and people really think they're going to be up and coming. And I really wonder because they lost Brady Singer, they lost what's his name, Yuri Gura, the pretty good hitter, but they got Cole Reagans. I mean, that's a quality start every 5 days.
You got him, you got Lugo. Waco.
Oh, Lugo's another one that's, he sort of had his career year last year. Had, big time opportunity as a starter coming from the Mets. And I think he'll be consistent. He'll be good. But I remember in the second half of the season last year, people were fading him because he got off to such a great start. And I think he's solid. I think he's pretty solid. So Kansas City, boy, that Bobby Witt, he's an all-around player. And if it wasn't for my boy in Cincinnati, my man in Cincinnati, my goodness, did you see what he did the other day?
Who's that, Ely?
Yeah. Yeah, he's just he got up left hand and hit one out, got up right hand and hit one out. That's it. He had 2 at bats.
He doesn't listen. Bobby Witt, and I got a little prop here. 200 hits for Bobby Witt is plus 195.
He's got to stay healthy. You know,
he had 211 hits last year, Chip.
No, I would play over, but like I said, if he pulls a hamstring and he misses 10 days, you're sunk. That's a huge number. I mean,
I'm not looking for 24-year-olds to get hurt.
Yeah, well, hope not. And you're not looking for 21-year-olds to end up with blood clots out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. That's crazy, Whitby. Yeah. I just, they bring in India, who was rookie of the year. Maybe he finds a spot here on this roster. I like, Sally Perez is probably in the way they are now. He should be a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Fame backstop. He's really good.
Yep.
Vinny P at first base, nice power guy. I like this little team here.
Yeah, but they have no more bye Balboni. He's gone.
Yeah, he went to the Yanks.
Here's the problem for me with Kansas City. Well, there's a couple of problems. Okay, first of all, just from a pure betting perspective, this team this past year improved 30 games. Okay, I mean, if you look at how baseball, if you look at the numbers, is that if a team improves or goes backwards 15 games, it is considered normal thinking that there'll be regression, either or positive or negative regression,
right.
Which, by the way, makes no sense to me using that term, positive regression. Anyways, so they were 30 games, okay, and so I think the total makes sense that it's lower, okay, from that standpoint. Then I look at Lugo, okay, career year, as Chip mentioned, okay, also career innings. Waka, okay, Michael Waka, he had 4 different elements to his pitching that were career highs. The Reagans went from 124 innings up to 186. Now, he's still a relatively young guy, but he had that many more innings. So does that trio come back, okay, and have the same type of year? I don't think it's even close. Just not to say they won't be, let's just say, effective, but to me, this very much looks like a 500 team. You mentioned Perez. I think Perez was energized last year by having all these younger guys around that played so well, got him going again. He's a year older. Okay. I look for him to come back to career numbers. Okay. Career numbers. So I think Kansas City, I think it's 80, it's either 80 and a half or 81 and a half. And to me,
82 and a half.
Is 82 and a half. I'm going to write them down right now as 80 and 82 on the season. Okay. So a slight under for me on that one. Now, you guys don't mention Detroit. I'm actually high in Detroit. To me, it's either Detroit and Cleveland for this division. And here's why on Detroit is that, they were kind of just mulling around, most of the season. And they said, they made that trade and they finished 34-19. And so that doesn't mean that carries over automatically. But what to me can carry over is a lot of those guys figured out how to hit late in the season, and they're younger players. And so to me, that's where their upside comes up, is that they have that ability. They learned something about themselves. They've made adjustments to what was going on, what pitchers were doing to them, and they gained confidence. Now, could it all go away after the end of April? Absolutely it could. But I think this team is poised to be right there in this division. It's wide open. You got 4 teams that can win it. I think it's wide open. And to me, Detroit and Cleveland have the 2 best possibilities to do it.
Doug, I think getting Gleyber Torres, I'm anticipating he's going to have a good offensive year. No, I'm serious. I expect he's going to have a good offensive year, particularly in Detroit. He doesn't have the pressure that he had in New York because they were hounding him because of his bonehead plays, base running mistakes, and not even knowing how many outs there are and things along those lines.
Well,
if he could ever put that together, they're going to be an even better offensive team, is what I'm trying to say. Because he's the threat at the plate. And
the other thing too, Chip, is that his mistakes won't be as glaring in Detroit because they've had Javi Baez for like the last 4 years.
He had 180 last year. What are you talking about?
So so boneheaded mistakes. I mean, hey, he's just it would just be he's just next in line for doing them. That's all it means.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it won't be emphasized probably as much as it is in New York. Because, I mean, you're in the middle of the NFL season. They're talking baseball, so
and you guys either watch or listen. And speaking of Detroit has one of the best assets in all of baseball. If you like to either watch or listen to baseball, their announcer, okay, I'm forgetting his name. He does all the Fox games.
not
Jason,
Harwell.
no, Jason Benetti. Jason Benetti, in my opinion, is the single best announcer there is in baseball. Young guy. The White Sox didn't want to pay him. They had him there for years. Okay. The guy is a pro in every sport that he does.
Is he going to be able to pinch hit? I'm just wondering how
no,
he's going to help.
He's not going to be able to pitch it, but he'll entertain you. When Detroit's behind 12-2 and it's the fourth inning, you will listen to that game and you will still be entertained. So that's
magic when people can do that. I mean, it's really
a skill. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a definite skill. But
I remember Marv Albert in basketball was incredible. And hockey was unbelievable.
Dick Enberg, the works. I mean, you go wherever you want to go.
See, the Detroit lineup is what's kind of scares me. I kind of like the upside there of the Kansas City Melendez coming back, maybe a change of scenery for India, Vinny P and Witt. I mean, Carpenter was the only guy. Kerry Carpenter is the only guy hit over 270 for this team last year, and that was in 87 games. Like the regular players, again, you got young guys. Riley Green's still young. Keith is still young. They got who's the other guy? Jace. Who's going to play first base for them? Jace.
I can't think of
John
his name.
Young, wherever he is. I got him right here. Jace Jung. You have Skubal. You bring back Flannery. So you got an ace and you got a 1B because Flannery is as good as anybody when he's healthy. That's the problem with that guy. He only pitches like 20-some games. But that's a nice 1-2. And then you have other kind of style pitchers. I'm just worried about their offense, where I think Kansas City offense is going to continue to go forward. And I'm not worried about Raggins as much because he had that big jump last year, which is why you saw him kind of fade. You saw those guys kind of fade a little bit the second half of the year. Lugo, because they were hitting the innings. So I don't know if that's really going to affect them too much this season. And a guy like, Waka, obviously an innings guy, first 4 starting, going to be 5 innings. A lot of teams have that. Not everybody's the Yankees where you have 5 starters or the Dodgers, right? I mean, we see this. Most teams have an ace, a good guy, a so-so guy. Then you got a bunch of guys who are going to throw 150 innings and have 4.20 ERAs. Cleveland.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say. And Cleveland, yes, they have probably the best pitching, like Bieber, BB. They have all these young guys. Can they stay out? That's the problem with them. Like they got pitching. Gavin Williams, always a bunch of young guys coming up. 82.5 wins. That's crazy going off of last year. They won 92 games. I mean, talk about the Royals went from 86 to 82. Okay, 92 to 82.
I mean, the only guy they lost their second baseman, but they have a replacement also because he left. And I mean, Naylor's not worth 10 games. I mean, he's a nice player, but he's not worth 10 games. So I don't think, I think Cleveland will be fine. And I think the other aspect, like I said, I really like their manager. The other thing about Detroit that I like too is that, Cleveland gets all the attention for bullpen. Detroit's bullpen was lights out the last half of the season. Okay. I mean, they just shut it all down. They were the equal in terms of production as to what Cleveland was. So that's another reason. And bullpens are volatile. I get that. Every year's a new year for bullpens. But, the arms are still there. And for the most part, most of the arms in the bullpen are young. And they have a couple of nice new additions, too. So I think they have a shot. We might as well just cover the White Sox. Oh, okay. We're done, I guess. All right. I don't even know what to say about the White Sox, right? I mean, just they're not it's ownership. That's where you start. There's their problem right there is ownership. They just everybody that has any decision making process is in their late 80s. Okay, and so that's a problem. And the club needs to be sold. It literally will be years. They have some good players, that we've seen come up recently. You've seen that too, Chip. But I mean, they don't need 2 or 3. They need 20 new players.
Well, they lost probably their only legitimate pitcher, and he went to the Red Sox. Was it Crockett? Was that his name?
Yes.
Crochet, whatever. Crochet. And he was impressive pitching for that team.
Yes.
But, what are you going to do now? I mean, they're going to be hard pressed to win 60 and not lose 100 again.
Yeah, because it's 53 and a half. They're, so that, I mean, that's a 12 game improvement. Okay. And 53 I'm sorry. It's 50, 52 or 50. I think it's 51 and a half. Now that I think
51
about
and a half?
because the reason I say that is because they're still scheduled to lose 100 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, so they can improve quite a bit, but I mean, this is still a really bad team. And there's with Oakland literally spending a few more dollars this year. There's no reason. Well, here's the simple thing. The Angels look horrible. Okay. And the Angels win total is 71 and a half.
Wow.
So if that doesn't tell you the difference between the Angels and the White Sox, I don't know what does.
So if they win 81 games, is Mickey Trout the MVP?
Well, you know what what we took.
There's supposed to be 20 games under 500, and they have Trout on their team. Is what you're saying to me?
They could go over the total if he plays 130 games. That's how I would view the Angels.
Right. He's got to hit better than 247.
Yeah, at 33, I think the power will still be there. I'm not sure the batting average is going to be there much anymore.
Hey, he hit a home run first at bat in the spring. Ohtani hit a home run first at bat in the spring. Soto hit a home run first at bat in the spring. What's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's great players do great things.
And it's I always love that stuff. It's Reggie Jackson coming back to New York after the Yankees get rid of him. He hits a home run to beat him. Stuff like that.
That's the that one of the best things. I forget who I heard this a couple of years ago, because obviously, even though baseball seems potentially predictable, and one of the things that a lot of people have always said, baseball is the easiest sport to beat for betting. Okay. And there is some truth in that. Right. But the one thing about baseball is literally more than any other sport, literally every day is a new day. Yeah. And so when anything stupid happens, okay, I picked up on this and I use it as often as I can. Somebody says, "Can you believe that this happened?" Blah, 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 blah. I just say, that's baseball.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
So, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, springtime, like the flowers are blooming and everybody gets psyched for springtime, at least after being sheltered in the Northeast so many winters.
Believe me. I lived in Milwaukee and
I was a teacher in Connecticut, a high school teacher. And every year there was one day I would call in sick and it was always opening day. And running. Oh my goodness! I felt like Ferris Bueller. You know how all of a sudden you're on the screen.
Yeah. And on that day, now speaking of this is from years ago because I remember this for whatever reason. And the first team that you always got to see every day, every year on opening day, the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah.
For those that don't know,
they used to be a single game, on a Monday or Tuesday.
Right. Yeah.
Now they're opening in Japan or Mexico City. It's lost its luster a little bit. And then when they do open, usually all of them are playing at the same time. So
yes, it's a different deal altogether now.
Yeah.
So as you probably have seen, Sean Higgs has left the building, not by choice, I'm sure. So he's out of here. So Chip and I are wrapping it up. So make sure that you enjoy your rest of the day. This is Doug Upstone, Chip Chirimbes, and Sean Higgs at the buffet, saying thanks for watching and take care.